Good never. Good rising and great awakenings. We're almost ready to start. Good never. Great awakenings, Brother Craig. All right, well, welcome to today's edition of Cosmic Chimes and Chanting. Today is the third quarter moon. The third quarter moon occurs at 6:56 a.m. Central Time, which is in a few minutes. And this is the first time I've made this type of offering. I've been thinking about it for a while. And here we go. So I decided that on the third quarter moons, we will be having this global grieving session. And I just learned about global grieving a few months ago from Greg Braden, who's one of my favorite. What is Greg Braden? A spiritual activist? I guess that's how I would describe Greg Braden. I've been following Greg Braden since, let's see, when was I living out in Blanco? I guess that was like the year 1997, 1998, when the comet, what's the name of that comet? Haley's Comet was out. And that show with, wow, what's his name? I can't think of his name, but he had this really cool talk show where he had interviewed all these quote unquote conspiracy theorists and scientists, and Greg Braden was one of them. What kind of glasses are those? These are pinhole glasses. They have holes in them that force your eyes to focus instead of magnifying what you're looking at. And so they make your eyes stronger. And I've been wearing them since the year 2003. And normally people at my age would be heavily into reading glasses or laser surgery. And these have really helped my vision. Tony Brown Journal, is that where you heard about Greg Braden? Anyway, so Greg Braden is also one of the people who, when they first started sending robotic cameras into the pyramids, I remember the time they sent one down the shaft of the Giza pyramid and had the minister of antiquities there and everything, and they were all excited about what they were going to find when they opened the door. Oh, okay, Tony Brown Journal. And there was nothing there. But anyway, Greg has been in my cipher or whatever for, 1990? 2.5 decades. That can't be. No, 1997. 1.5 decades. No, that's 2.5 decades. Okay. Anyway, so I've also been inspired by Greg Braden's work with the heart and mind connection. He's also the one that pointed out to me that the brain is split into two. And from the Kemetic wisdom, we know that the ego lives in the brain. That's the one that's giving us all these notes and no, you can't do this. And that person, judgment, because it's always between this or that. And Greg teaches us to drop into our heart. I've been talking a lot about this. The heart is made with neuropeptides. More neuropeptides or brain-like cells in the brain. The gut and the womb are lined with brain cells, and they have more than the brain. And they're one organ, not split into two. So I've learned a lot from Greg Braden, and I was watching one of his videos recently, and he started talking about global grieving. And that's when I decided that on the third quarter moon, because we're emptying out from the moon, heading towards the new moon. Even if you believe the moon is not real anymore, it still is a natural clock, even if it's artificial moon, all the things people say about the moon, I still like to follow the moon instead of the Western calendar. So today's presentation is just kind of a free improv. I don't know if you can see them. Rather you see them than see me. I have the chimes set up for today's alignment. Oh. I know that's the next thing on my buy list is better equipment. Well, the sun is kind of blocking your view. There we go. So we have the chimes. I'm always starting now with Anpu, the tone. Oh, it's way over here. Got quite an array of sounds today. So we have Anpu opening the way. We have the third quarter moon represented by Shacheta, is in the sidereal Capricorn, represented by Geb. And then we have the sun and Mercury, that's Ra and Juti, in sidereal Aries, which is Set. And then I've also included Neptune or emotions. I didn't get to see where Neptune is. Hold on a second. I didn't get to check Neptune. I just knew I wanted to include it. Neptune. So the website I usually use is down, so I have to do the old-fashioned way. Well, not old-fashioned because I'm on a computer, right? But and Neptune is in Aquarius. Okay, let me get that. Yeah, so we've got a lot going on here today. So Neptune is sidereal Aquarius. That's Nebuchadnezzar and Haru. And then I also have Sedna, which is the Inuit goddess of trauma, basically, and domestic violence, assault, and abuse and violation. So these are the tones we're going to be working with today and the netters. And while we're having the transition, I don't want us to like run down the list of everything that's going quote unquote wrong in the world today, because that's not why we're doing this. It's just to release how we feel. Like maybe while I'm talking about this, you're getting some ideas about the global grieving, because the global grieving is about the trauma that we all experience. Like when we watch the news or when we hear about someone going through something, the trauma stays in our body even after the event. It could be trauma from our past lives. It could be trauma from our ancestors' lives, and it hasn't been addressed. I think of the global grieving that occurred when countless families were removed from their homes and sent to a new reality against their, and we can visit every continent and every period in history, and that will be happening to someone. But the fact is that it hasn't been addressed. And so the trauma just keeps getting handed down through the generations all over the world. And now that I won't say we're done with the pandemic, but we've been through it for 2 years. So the global grief has increased like 100-fold in 2 years. So it's not about making a list of all the things that's wrong with the world. It's just a list of, when you think about the world, how does you feel? When I think about the things going on in the world, sometimes I get really sad, I get angry, I get depressed, I get frustrated, or I start taking actions. I start, looking for events or get herbs. It's a good response to stress and trauma. Of course, is self-care. But you also have to leave space to release the feelings and emotions. So you could, like I used to talk about, writing in your journals or being creative. And so these tones are here to invoke a healthy response to the global grieving, because more and more people are going to be experiencing it as more and more events occur. And now, the mental wellness industry is talking about this a lot. So you will be hearing about it more. It's not new, it's just finally being addressed. Also, this is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and when the month first began, I was triggered because I felt the grief and emotions that were being released. So that's basically the introduction. And so just let's start with some sage here. So we're just going to be, it's like a meditation or just visualizing certain things. It's not to dwell on the trauma, but to allow the feelings to come to the surface so you can release them. Because if we don't release them, then they just stay. And what I've learned from trauma and grief is I used to think when the emotions would come up that it was something wrong and I need to like not think about it. Or like my mother would tell me I should get a job and I won't have time to think about all my problems. And I was like, no, that's not it. I have to solve my problems. Woo! Okay, Mom. I just want to release the sadness. And I didn't have it to do it yesterday on Earth Day because I was following the moon. So this is, connected to the Earth Day as well. Let's take a few comments. Great awakenings from Maine. Thank you. I hope you have a great day too. I don't look at the news. It makes me upset. Even if you don't look at the news, you can still feel the energy because it's a vibration, it's a frequency. And back in the day when we didn't have news broadcasts, or we didn't know about what's going on in the world, you could live in your community and be oblivious to what's going on in the world. But nowadays, even if you don't watch the news, you know someone that does watch the news. And there's so much grief in the world today that we pick up on it. I don't watch the news anymore either. I follow Twitter for news, Twitter and TikTok. Because the news is fake. It's more like media manipulation, brainwashing. I don't know. Anyway, let's start with the Om. Got this wonderful crystal ball. And we're just going to Om for a few minutes. You can just Om at will. You don't have to be in tune with me or anything. Just to get it out. And Om, people only associate with India, but it's actually from ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet. You can find it inscribed on the papyrus that was stolen and is now living at Leiden Museum. And I've posted about it before. You can find it. Okay, so when we're doing energy work, we go clockwise to open. Go counterclockwise to open, or up to remove toxins and to open, and then clockwise to close it down or to manifest. So you're going up to release and bring the energy down to manifest, or counterclockwise to open and clockwise to close. There we go. All right, so I'm going to start the transmission. And normally, when I do the cosmic chimes and chanting, I'm chanting the names of the Neteru that are associated with each one of these chimes, and then also go into their qualities or characteristics because they live within us, and so we're invoking or raising that vibration inside of us. We're matching that vibration so that we can radiate that frequency in our lives. And today I don't know what's going to come out. It's just, like I said, I'm just releasing how I feel about what's going on in the world. I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. I don't know anything. Great awakening. Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed that. Yes, grounding and just connecting to the earth. And yeah, I think an important aspect of global grieving is to be aware of what's called RU in the tradition, the Kemetic tradition. RU is impressions that are stored in our heart over past lives, lifetimes, and it could be also ancestral RU, things that happened to our ancestors, and to not judge the feelings that come up, to not judge, to not judge, just to let it to be. And if we don't release or purify our RU, then we just keep repeating those experiences, and we have to keep coming back to the earth and reliving it until we learn the lesson and release the trauma. So it's important not to judge what's going on in the world as good or bad, because the things that are happening in the world are happening according to the master plan. Things are out of balance in the world today because humanity got out of balance with nature. Humanity forgot about their divinity, our spirituality. We forgot about our connection to the source. So we have to remember that that is why things are happening the way that they are. And it's up to us to change ourselves, our lives, our RU. It may not happen in this lifetime, but if we start making changes in this lifetime, it will happen eventually. All right, so here we go. This is a lot. Open the way to our healing. Open the way to releasing our feelings. Traveling beyond our limitations, breaking free of enslavement of our mind and our heart. Our intention is freedom. Our intention is peace. is the peace in the world today? Where is the love for humanity? Where is the love of creation? When I think of the world, such a beautiful place, I am grateful for my life. I am grateful for life on earth. And yet there is sadness. There is violation. Where is the love and peace? I feel it within me. Why can't they see me? How do I express my happiness when the world is covered in darkness? When people are suffering, how can I express my gratitude and joy? The darkness is caused by the ego. The ignorance of divinity. So we must shine our light into the darkness and express our creativity. In light of adversity, we must raise our frequency above the tragedies of life by releasing our feelings. We must express our energy and motion. We must purify our heart. Cleanse our minds of negativity. Focus on liberty for one and all. the beauty in the tragedy, the gift in the adversity. I can see the world covered in shadow of ignorance and gripped by violence. And I see the light of the world growing brighter every day. Growing stronger every day. As we pour out our hearts and harmonize our minds, we can focus on the illusion, the deception, the destruction, the preparation, or we can focus on solution. We can break free of confusion. See the solution. Find the solution. That's the vibration. Bring forth manifestation. Breaking free of oppression in our minds. Break free of oppression in our lives. Keep shining bright. Do unto. Do again. Do us a shelter. Do a duty. Do a sin. Do a wrong. Do a never do a hello. Do a say no. Do a head knowing, joining, connecting with the conscious hearts and minds of the world. Now for the global morning in the morning of the pain we are feeling. Calling in the conduits of light, calling on the light workers of planet Earth. Shine your light, no matter how dark it may seem. Don't let your light go out. Release your sadness and shine. Your tears have great power and medicine. Open the way. I am the earth. I am structure and imitation. You can't break free of you. Write in your journal how you wish the world to be. Look who's your queen. Always stand for my and express without fear. Look who said, fight for every day. I am your ego. You must conquer every day of your life. Look who I am, creation. My children have forgotten me. I sent you here to remind them. Shine your light for all to see. Look who never ends. Lady of the house, your body, temple, physicality, and mortality. Release your emotions. Don't allow them to become stagnant. Stand in your truth and be free. In the silence, in the silence. Look who had my goal is liberty and freedom. Victory is yours. Stay on the path of enlightenment. Your light awaken those in the darkness. Your freedom lies in the freedom of humanity. Until all of us are free, none of us are free. Until all of us are fed, all of us are hungry. Look who set up. The cosmic force of the violated, the abused, the survivors of violence, assault and betrayal. I must be healed. I must be released. I must be free. I am the love and beauty that is being hidden from humanity. Shine your light so they may see. Shine your light so the truth can be revealed. Shine your light on the gift of this adversity. Supreme peace, supreme peace, supreme peace, the end of duality, the end of duality. The end of duality. All right, never. All right, let's see. Brother Patrick is always stopping by to wish me good vibrations, and thank you for tuning in. I forgot to post the webpage. Well, that was really moving for me. I don't know how anybody else. Wow. All right. Looks like some people enjoyed it. Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, that felt really good. Especially when I was in the like I got that idea when I was at Oberlin College. You saw my post. I was going through a lot when I was at Oberlin. But the year that Reagan was elected, that was 1982. We had been going through a lot with asking the campus to divest from South Africa. We've been having protests. And then Reagan was elected. And so I think it was like 12 o'clock. Everyone came onto campus, to the campus hall, and we just moaned and just screamed and cried and let it out for like 30 minutes. And that's where I got this idea to hold a space for that. And it felt really good for me. So I'm glad that you all enjoyed that. And I'm going to post the link to the webpage. And I'm just going to build on it. I've got the article, the video, of course, by Greg Braden. And I'm just going to keep adding to it. Okay, copy. Listing all the things that are wrong in the world, because that helps perpetuate it. So instead, I just focused on what the different nectars represent, and they had a message for us today, each one of them, on how to deal with it. And I was just visualizing the whole world like covered in this darkness, and all of us connecting. If we each connect and do this healing work and cleanse our hearts and our minds. And Greg Braden also talks about fasting and just living our lives at a certain vibration where we're just radiating gratitude and peace and joy, then that will, the light will increase. And that's one way we can transform things. I know some teachers are saying that, the world's getting ready to end and we need to, I was trying to move out of the country and move to another place and be off the grid. And I have a place out in the country in California, but if you're not with the right people, then you're just going to recreate the mess that you left. So I just decided to focus on making things right in my life. And I got to go to Mexico one time with Don Miguel Ruiz. We were at the Palace of the Jaguar Priest. And I asked, when will I see justice in the world? Because I was dealing with my assault, and I was really angry because people are talking about justice, and I don't see justice in the world. When people are in trouble and they go to the legal system, they don't get justice. And the advice was, when I see justice in my life, then I will see justice in the world. So that's when I set about to set things right in my life. And then I also learned from the goddess Ma'at. She represents justice, balance, and truth. And I was like, well, I don't see justice in the world. Where is Ma'at? Why isn't there justice? And I've learned that Ma'at is the scale. I don't know if you've seen the scale of Ma'at. She's the scale, right? And so she shows us justice and injustice. But justice always exists. Truth is always there. Balance is always there. But we're blind to it. And I used to think justice was, you don't like the way things turned out, so you have a chip on your shoulder and you want justice. And I've learned that because of our RU, which what I mentioned before is our impressions and our heart and our past life experiences, we may have acted in ways that were on Ma'at, against Ma'at. And so we're in this life to live with Ma'at and bring about justice in our life, and not be focused on trying to bring about justice in the world, because that's our ego thinking that we can bring about, oh, what's that? That's 2 links. Wait a second. We can bring about justice in the world. We can bring about justice in our life, but we have to focus on that. I think I typed this wrong. Let me try this again. There we go. So that was a huge lesson for me. I stopped being so angry about things in the world and started focusing on the gift in the adversity. And there's a video on the scales of Ma'at on my YouTube channel. So I recommend you check that out, because that's another thing that can make us feel grief, because when we see, massive injustice, and Ukraine is not the only place in the world that's in war. It's just the only place in the world of Caucasity. it's a war where white people are fighting against white people. There's war everywhere. The European, and I'm not talking about the indigenous people of the North. I hope I've made myself very clear on that subject. I'm talking about the European mindset that set out to conquer their own indigenous people and then the whole world. Well, I don't want to get stuck on that. I'm just focusing on the healing and releasing the grief and the trauma from these actions, because we can't stop them from doing things. We can't go to their systems for justice or medicinal relief or anything, because their systems are designed to put us in this state of trauma. So the best thing we can do individually is to release the feelings and set out to make our lives shining bright. So that's what I had to share today. Let's see if there's any more questions. Oh, okay. I know what I was going to say is the European mindset, the scientists, and I'm glad they're telling us about the state of the world, and it's good to know. However, if you just get all caught up in that, then you become a weapon of that. You become an agent of that, because you're constantly putting it out there of how terrible it is. And, we have to do this, we have to do this. And, they've already said we're beyond the point of no return. Even if everybody does right, it's still going to be a mess. I think that what we must do is do our very best so that we don't have to come back and experience this again. And so even though it seems hopeless, even though there's so much trash on my block, I keep my block, my street clean, I find my house clean, and every now and then I go out and pick up all the trash. But if I get all upset about it, oh, these people are just throwing out their trash, and I just, I used to yell at people and say, hey, don't leave your trash out, don't throw that on the ground. I used to go up to people and tell them not to throw their trash out the window. And I realized then someday somebody could just pull out a weapon and I don't, so I had to stop all that and just focus on my own healing. All right. So, let's see, you really helped me. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Brother Craig. I hope so. Let's see, I got a little bit more time here. Let's see, what else could I do? I think that's good for now. I think I'm just going to sit with that. And I'm glad you all enjoyed the session. I have the webpage up now at lightbeingwellness.com/global-grieving. And at the website, I have some different definitions from the mainstream about the global grieving that we're going through because of the pandemic. And then also I add because of generations of global grieving that was not addressed. And then also have the video there by Greg Braden, that he has this really great lecture that inspired me to start this series. And I'll just continue to do and then this video is there also, and I'm just going to keep adding to that page. So every third quarter moon, whether it's day or night, we'll gather here and just release. So do a tap, and let's see, the next presentation will be the new moon, Cosmic Chimes and Chanting. Wow, that'll be April 30th. I don't have the time here with me, but I post the calendar. And then May 1st is May Day of the Spiral Dance Medicine Wheel, where we honor the indigenous peoples of the four directions and their wisdom teachings coming together. We honor the four directions, the four elements, the four aspects of being, the four seasons, all the big fours. And we celebrate that through sound. And I'll be out at the lake at sunrise on May Day. And then I'll be posting the schedule for May. Okay. And if you'd like to receive your own Cosmic Chimes and Chanting session for your birth date, you can do that at lightbeingwellness.com. You get the chart, analysis, you can get a consultation. You can sign up for the Cosmic Chimes and Chanting session, which is original chants based on your moment of arrival here on the earth. And you can even, if you're local or you want to fly me to where you are, you can get a Cosmic Chimes and Chanting session. And, well, you can do that distance-wise, Cosmic Chimes and Chanting. But you can arrange for a Kimitone's Cosmic Sound Healing session in alignment with your birthday as well. You can do that at lightbeingwellness.com. And if you'd like to know more about the Kemetic wisdom teachings, visit EgyptianYoga.com. If you'd like to be on for the Unitarian Holy Day presentations where we go over different wisdom teachings from Kemet and then offer devotional chants, that'll be at my Tachia Ahmet music channel on YouTube. I stream them live on TikTok. And I don't have the schedule here with me, but I'll be posting it soon. And all the replays are there. Those are also very healing to learn how the ancestors laid out specific instructions for us to attain enlightenment. And the fact that they laid out these instructions 4,000 years ago, or I would say 200,000 years ago, because the temples there are 4,000 or 10,000 years old, we know for a fact they were built on older temples, and we don't know how long those older temples have been there. You can see that at the Temple of Asar. There's the Temple of Asar. That's, I don't know how old that is, but right behind it is the Asarian, well, they call it the Osirian temple, and it's falling apart, but it's still there. But anyway, the wisdom teachings are there, and they've been laid out to help us attain enlightenment. So by studying the wisdom teachings and hearing the music of the wisdom teachings, you can bring on your own enlightenment. So what I was getting at before is the fact that they left these instructions even that long ago lets you know that even back then things got out of balance, but they were able to keep bringing it back into balance. And perhaps we can do the same. Alrighty, well, I hope you have a wonderful, Saturday, and I will see you next time. Do a hatap. Hatap. Oh, and I know I keep promising to do it. I will schedule another pendulum session soon. Okay. Hatap. Do a hatap.